Now on YouTube, it's time for some alternative commentary action with the Commentary Hub.
There's headed by Marina, and it's 2-1 to Arsenal.
Look at that point! Goal for Manchester City!
Takes this corner, whips it in, it's headed and it's a goal, and it's that man, Gabriel.
Liverpool have equalised. Lovely improvisational touch from Curtis Jones.
Oh, what a goal! Wow, take it out!
Good evening from Villa Park. What a game this is going to be, that is for sure. And I've got no doubt at all that this match tonight at Villa Park is going to be one of the biggest in history. There's a banner in front of me here that says this is Villa Park, and a big task tonight for Unai Emery's team. Win by 2 clear goals or more, or win by more than that. And they could well be on their way to the semi-finals. But it's a tall order against a side in the PSG who totally ripped them apart in the first leg, especially the second half, I felt. There is no doubt. But the atmosphere is superb. And it's a delight to be here. The rain is coming down in steroids here at Villa Park. Remember, to force extra time, Villa must win by 2 clear goals. Tall order, as I say, but they've done a very good job tonight. Now, Paul James was expected to be with us, but at the moment he's having 1 or 2 technical issues at his end. So it's me, John Sputtard, for now doing solo commentary on this. And let's have a look at the two teams then. Aston Villa with Eni Martinez in goal. And it's a back four of Luca Dean, Pau Torres, Ezra Konsa and Matty Cash. And then it's Babacar Kamara, Andre Onana, Morgan Rogers, John McGinn the captain, and Yuri Tillemans, and Marcus Rashford up front. As the Champions League theme plays. On the bench, Olsen, Proctor, both goalkeepers, Diassi, Mengs, Barley, Watkins, Asensio, Matson, Bogard, Bailey and Ramsey. A bit of a risk, perhaps, not playing Asensio, perhaps. The officials tonight come from Spain. The referee is Jose Maria Sanchez Martinez. His 2 assistants are Raul Caballero and Ingo Perito. And VAR, if required, is Carlos Grandi of Spain. All officials are from Spain. And they're going to contest the points off. PSG in the darker shirts, Aston Villa in the claret and blue. Let's look at PSG with Donnarumma, the Italian, in goal. Back forward, Mendes, Marquinhos, Pacquiao and Hakimi. In the 3-man midfield, we've got Fabian, Vitinha and João Neves. And then what an awesome prospect, the front three. Kvaratskhelia, Dembele with 32 this season, and Bakalo, the second top scorer, on 18. Sabanov, Tenas, Nkepe, Ramos, Doué, who scored in the first leg, Lee, Hernandez, Melulu, Emery, Zaire Emery, Lucas Beraldo, and Mbaye complete the lineup for Luis Enrique. Well, Marcus Rashford's in a rich vein of form. Only 3 goals in Villa colours, but 2 of which came against Preston in the last round of the FA Cup. There's a school of thought here. If Villa can get in amongst them tonight, they can always produce the goods here. But it's going to be a tall order. But they had scored in that first leg, which was crucial to their chances. Villa in claret and blue as the Villa fans right behind their team as we get underway. And an early touch by Eni Martinez, who had no chance on any of the 3 goals that went past him last week. Paris haven't had a game this weekend, so they've had a week to sort of rest up. Villa did play on Saturday against Southampton, but won very convincingly, despite the fact Asensio had missed 2 penalties in that game at Southampton. Unai Emery with the big coat on, hood up. It's absolutely bucketing down with rain here tonight. And the ball coming through, but and it was Rashford on the chase down the left-hand side. Villa attacking their favourite old end in the first half. They sometimes attack that in second half of matches, but not tonight. Well, they pulled off some real results in Europe this season, none more so in their first match here at Villa Park against Bayern Munich when John Charan scored. John Charan, who's gone on to pastures new since then, so it's Luca Dean with a long throw. Essential that there's a Villa player gone tumbling. Dean gets a second chance. Here's John McGinn, who 6 years ago was captain in Villa in the Championship as they were battling to get into the playoffs, which they ultimately won. And the rise since then from Aston Villa has been phenomenal, even more so when you think when Unai Emery took over, they were something like third from bottom in the Premier League. Amazing to think now that they're potentially maybe 3 games away from a European Cup final, a game away from the FA Cup. There's a bit of pushing and shoving going on with Donnarumma and Rodgers and Hakimi as well. Villa have made a good start in this opening minute and a bit. Here comes the corner. Into near post, on and wide. And Villa won a corner and get it. It was an honour right in there. Right in there. Great roaring start this from Aston Villa. All played across. And it needed just the simplest touch. And it was a defender who got there first. I'm not sure whether that was going in the back of the net or not. But my word. It's some atmosphere now. Corner from the far side this time. Went in there towards Anana this time again. Good play from Villa inside the penalty area. They dart. They're taking the fight to PSG. They know they've got to attack right from the word go tonight. And Cash gets it back to Martinez midway inside his own half, and there's a PSG player converging on him. He's had to knock it out of touch. Goodness me, what a start. That might have been there for Aston Villa. Don't forget, if you want to comment, you can comment on the game in the comments section, the live comments section. But please keep it clean. We are a family programme. We'll also keep you updated with the other quarter-final taking place. That's in Dortmund tonight between Borussia Dortmund and Barcelona, but Barcelona leading 4-0 from the first leg 6 days ago. Free kick given against John McGinn, I think. Spotted there by the Spanish referee, Mr. Martinez. Bit of a coming together. I think Pacquiao made a bit more of it than it needed to be, but it was a free kick. So a 3 3/4 minutes into the first half here at Villa Park in this UEFA Champions League quarter-final second leg. Another free kick to PSG. They're just taking the sting out of it at the moment. Remember, PSG leading 3-1 from the first leg, remember. But, well, if Villa were to win by 2 clear goals tonight, we would have half an hour's extra time. There's no away goals rule. And I'm sure Paul James, who's producing alongside me at the moment, will try and confirm the rules, but I'm certain it will go to extra time. And then if it was level, still level at that scoreline, then I think we would have a penalty shootout. But I'll get my producer to check the rules for that. Here's Luca Dean now, playing it into Rashford. Rashford trying to turn, the number 9 for Villa. Anana now wins possession deep inside PSG territory. The ball back to Conte on halfway, and then just passes it back to Eddie Martinez. Villa have to go for goals tonight. There isn't a doubt about that. They certainly got the quality to do it, but they do have a very strong bench, as I said at the top of the show. It's going to be really interesting to see how this really plays out. Road to Villa. They forced a mistake. Matty Cash. Unai Emery's now got his hood down. But it was absolutely bucking him down with rain. It's been bucking it down all day in Birmingham. It really has. And my notes have stayed dry. And PSG have nicked about 5 yards from that throw-in, I have to say. And the Spanish referees allowed it. And now there could be a problem here as they're in behind the Villa defence for the first time. Ball back across, and Luka Dean having to get in there. And the ball knocked back across. And a bit of defending now for Villa to do, and Cash gets it out. Mendes was working right in the penalty area as well. But Villa off for it tonight. It looks like they're going to go for it now. They may as well. It's a no-lose situation. Advantage is played because PSG have the ball, but the referee's trying to let the game flow from Spain. And McGinn straight in there straight away. No foul on Hakimi by McGinn. No foul. So McGinn has possession now on the left-hand side. Infield it goes to Morgan Rogers. Now Kamara takes over. Gets it out to the far side. Villa having to go for it here. Remember, 2 goals down from the first leg. 3-1 they trail. Anyway, Kabashila and Mendes the scorers for PSG. Morgan Rogers scoring for Villa. When you've got the likes of Asensio and Watkins, and Watkins has got 15 goals this season in all competitions, it shows how strong that Villa bench is if they need something, they can get a goal in the first half. It's all to play for, you feel, in the second. Torres should get that one away. Tyrone Mings is one of the defensive players they have on the bench, incidentally, Aston Villa. And here they come now, working again, and here goes Tielemans. It's a Rashford. It's out the area, but well covered again by the defender there, Marquinhos. But then Rashford wins it back. Isn't it refreshing to see Marcus Rashford back to his best? And Manchester United earlier this season, he looked a lost soul. Since he's gone to Villa on loan, he's looked a different player, and a player transformed. But wait a minute. Here come PSG. They're going down the left-hand side at the moment. The 2 in the middle, including Dembele. No foul there. The referee not interested, but Villa still trying to get the ball out, and indeed they do for a throw-in. PSG. Wow. Where's this 8 minutes gone? It's just literally shot by. It really has. It's been a transformation really in Rashford's fortunes that he's assisted a few. Of course, Aston Villa have a big FA Cup semi-final as well in a couple of weeks against Crystal Palace at Wembley. Again, you can hear with Russ Sterling, incidentally, on TC Hub. And don't forget, Paul James will be in Madrid tomorrow for that Real Madrid against Arsenal. Arsenal 3 up from the first leg, remember. And he'll also keep you updated with what's going on in the Inter Milan Bayern Munich game. Inter Milan leading from the first leg. There's still a quarter-final lineup. And the winners of this, incidentally, would play the winners of the Arsenal Real Madrid game. And really, even at 3-0 down, it's not a foregone conclusion for Arsenal, because we know what Real Madrid on their night can be capable of. So Arsenal will be wary going to the Bernabeu tomorrow evening. You'll be able to hear that in full with Paul James tomorrow. Tonight, we're at Villa Park with me, JB, John Stuttard, and here is Luka Dean taking on Hakimi, who tried to break down the right. He's gone down holding his head. No head injury by the looks of it there, and the referee allowing it to go on. And here's Rogers. He's got Rashford to his left. Uses Rashford now towards the penalty area, deep inside the PSG half. And in the end, PSG had enough wherewithal, enough dark blue shirts back to quell the danger. Now down the other end, it may have been a touch as if it was offside. The ball cracked across the goalkeeper on the half parried, and it's been turned in by Hakimi. But will the goal stand? It's going to stand for now. And it's the Paris fans who go absolutely bonkers. And Villa now needs 3. Villa need to score 3. We'll check in on VAR. Well, that's a major blow for Villa. The cross came in from the left-hand side, and the goalkeeper didn't hold on. It's a greasy surface. It was Rashford who'd lost it initially, just ran into traffic. And with Villa having to push so many men forward, he's onside. He's in his own half as that ball's played, so that's a fair decision. The ball back across, and maybe the goalkeeper and Torres, they've just gone in each other's way, essentially here. As you see it again on the replay, could have left that to Paul Torres, I think. And despite the best efforts of the keeper, who nearly saved it, actually, Marquinhos Hakimi has knocked that in, and that's his 6th of the season. Oh, I think Luis Enrique may be a bit delighted about that. What a major blow for Aston Villa. And they need 3 now. But that's not the start we would have hoped for from an English point of view. As soon as we've got Paul James alongside me, he's just having 1 or 2 problems. Hopefully we'll get him on at some point tonight. And at the moment, you're stuck with me, just me at the moment. Well, if we do get Paul on, we'll get his views on the goal. But it was a terrific goal, it must be said. As PSG come on the attack again, and they do look a very decent side. It's a shame really that they've lasted the field away in the French league. There's something like 23 points ahead of Monaco in 2nd place, which is a real shame. And it's turned the French league into really is a poor quality in terms of actual proper challenges for the title, because of course the country of Qatar own the club, and amazing league and quite an unwatchable league in terms of an actual title challenge. And PSG with their spending power I've just really torn everybody apart in France, and they're tearing Villa apart here. It's not all lost if Villa can get the next goal. Now, if my memory serves me right, Liverpool went into their 2018 semi-final, or the 2019 semi-final 2nd leg at Anfield, 3-0 down against Barcelona, who were not fly-by-nights. They had Messi, Luis Suarez, and they had all the big hitters in their team that night, and they lost 4-0. So all's not lost yet for Villa. Offside against Dembele. Free kick to Villa. So all isn't lost yet. If they can get one back, if they can get one back in the first half, then I think there's a match on here. Villa can ill afford to concede another, and then I think it would be all over. There has been a goal in the game between Dortmund, and an 11th-minute penalty by Garassi has put Dortmund in the lead on the night. They still trail Barcelona by 4 goals to 1 in aggregate, but it's a start back for them. So there we go. So PSG have had 61% possession, Aston Villa 39%. And you have to say at this stage, PSG are, and I think I've got Paul James with me now. Paul, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. So sorry about that. I think it's sorted.
Well, thank you for joining us. Let me just fill you in then. So Villa losing that early goal. I'll just get your thoughts on the goal now. In fact, now that the ball's out of play, it was a very good lightning attack PSG goal, wasn't it? And
yeah.
would you say there was a mix-up between defender and keeper there?
Well, there was a mix-up between defender and keeper, but it's not just that. Nobody picked up Hakimi coming in. Is left with a clear shot on goal and launches it into the top corner. To be honest with you, it was just poor all-round defending, but at the same time they were caught out. But PSG, when they come forward in numbers and they come forward swiftly. And honestly, I think we're looking at possibly the winners of the Champions League, if you ask me.
Well, from an English perspective, let's hope that's not the case. But we want to give a bit of hope for Aston Villa fans tuning in, I have to say. But I should cast your mind back. We all said 6 years ago, Paul, when Barcelona took a 3-0 lead to Anfield in the 2019 semi-final against Liverpool, that everyone was saying it was Barcelona's name on the trophy. They were going to do this and they were going to do that, and they succumbed at Anfield, so you never know. Well,
that's true. Football's a funny old game. All it takes in a competition like this, where there's such talent, such quality, all it takes is for you to switch off for a few minutes and you can find yourself in a bit of a hole, that's for sure.
Well, that's probably the danger for PSG. They're 4-1 up in the actual tie now, but one goal for Villa. Well, you never know. Here's Luka Dean down the left-hand side. Plays it in field to John McGinn. McGinn's cross was charged away. I mean, looking at the Villa lineup tonight, I was a bit surprised when they announced the team that Asensio was not in it. Were you surprised looking at the team sheet earlier?
Yeah, when I looked at the team sheet, I was quite surprised that Asensio wasn't in the starting lineup. Perhaps he's carrying a niggling injury.
Let's see. Well, let's see, because Morgan Rogers is inside the area. Tries to shoot. He might break for Rashford, but it's knocked away. And it'll come here for Luka Dean. And back here it comes through. Well, it was John McGinn, then Luka Dean. Now, deep inside PSG territory. Villa need to get that foot on the ball and just play their natural game. Rashford's inside the area. Good challenge there, and it needed to be by Pacquiao.
It's a wonderful challenge. Again, Villa coming forward. They're certainly not afraid of Paris Saint-Germain. It's good to see them really giving it a good go. But you can see defensively, Paris Saint-Germain are very organised. And it's going to be an uphill challenge from here for Villa.
Yeah, but one goal will give them a renewed hope. Here's Rashford with the corner. Into the near post. Headed out. I thought for a moment it was going to be flicked goal bound, but it was flicked out was more than inwards. And here comes the cross again. Luka Dean into the danger zone. The ball out to the far side now. Cross needs to be a good one. Up go the heads. And it was a Paris one that made it first. The ball breaks to Torres, whose shot was acute, but it was a great save by Donnarumma. And Villa now, knowing that they need to turn up the power. Now then, it's Rashford inside the area. Shoots deflected away. The impale handball. The referee's unmoved. But Villa, this is a good response. Luka Dean in possession on the left-hand side. Still inside PSG, but he's having to retreat to halfway. And ultimately, Torres, Kamara gets it back to Eddie Martinez, who kicks away the Argentinian. Over to the far side, and it's McGinn now. Over the top, looking for the run of Rashford, and he's found him with a good challenge. And I think the flag has got up for offside. But what a good bit of passage of play, and much better from Aston Villa, Paul.
Oh, so much better. This was a really good passage of play. It was great football in the build-up. In the end, it didn't amount to anything, but it's going to give Villa some hope. Donnarumma in goal. Well, he's in sparkling form. It's a superb save there off Torres. Good reaction save. Villa are really playing very, very well here. Perhaps they deserve a goal in this one.
Well, the Prince of Wales is at Villa Park, as he was at the first leg. I can also see Prince George there as well. Prince William, of course, who is the Prince of Wales, I should give him. His Royal Highness, the Prince of Wales, to give him his full title, is the president of the Football Association here in England. And he's an avid Aston Villa fan. I wonder who his father supports, Paul.
Oh, yes, well, there were rumours surrounding his tie and visiting Turf Moor, wasn't there?
Well, Prince Charles got the right team anyway. Anyway, 20 minutes gone in this European Cup quarter-final, and it's Aston Villa against PSG. PSG winning 1-0 on the night. 4-1 they lead on aggregate. 3-1 coming into this tonight, they were leading. And in the other game, Dortmund 1-up against Barcelona again on the night, but Barcelona leading by the same aggregate score, 4-1. But that might be a bit more interesting down at Dortmund tonight. Well, let's just see. We'll keep in touch with that game as it goes along. And we'll give you all the other half-time scores around Europe as well. Plenty of other games around Europe, not just in the Champions League neither. But a great first 21 minutes if you're a neutral, but not if you're an Aston Villa fan. Remember, they need 3 goals to take it at extra time, I believe. And I don't think, Paul, I might have to recheck the rules at half-time, but I'm certain, I Googled it last week when I was prepping for this, and it told me that there's no away goals rule in the Champions League anymore. Am I right?
You are absolutely correct. Yeah, you're absolutely correct. There's no away goals. There wasn't last season, and I think I know there isn't this season. So I don't. Yeah, it'll be settled on the night, one way or another, of course. But there's no away goals. It's not going to be an advantage in this game.
No, which is a shame, really, from Villa's point of view. But anyway, if it had been away goals, I think PSG with that goal would have wiped it out anyway. Here's Hakimi's goal separates the teams deep inside the area. Now this fella, Gabachala, he looks a good player in the number 7. Real terrific goal in the first leg that put Paris in front there. And Kamara got the ball right inside the penalty area, and he had to time that correctly. A whistle's gone, free kick to Villa, but Kamara took a chance. He got away with it. He did get the ball. As we see an opportunity, I think there's a replay there. Was there a possibility of a foul there? No, this was the bit where Rashford gave the ball away. And as we've just seen a replay, Paul, it was really Keystone Cops defending from Villa.
Yeah, I don't think it's a foul. I just think it's good to see Villa defending like that when you've got that kind of attack coming at you. It's good. You can't afford to mess about. These no nonsense tackle. Let them know they're at a cold night in Birmingham.
Well, it's been not just a cold night, but it's been a rainy night so far. Just to remind you, in the Women's Super League, Arsenal are 3-up at half-time against Leicester City, and in League 2 in the AFL, Salford 1, Doncaster Rovers 1. Here in the Champions League, it's Aston Villa coming again. Shot comes in, it's wide from Morgan Rogers, just missed. He cut in from the right-hand side, he got into the penalty area and hit his shot, left-footed, just wide of the far post. What a big chance for Villa, Paul. Oh,
that's unlucky, isn't it? And good work by Morgan Rogers as well, leading up to that. It's just wide. It's very unfortunate. But, you know, this is good for Aston Villa that they're creating these chances. They just have to start putting them away, because don't forget, Villa took the lead in Paris, ended up losing 3-1. They're showing that they're willing to fight for it. They've not given up. And this is good. This was great play by Morgan Rogers. Unlucky this time round.
Yeah, and Hakimi, if you didn't hear my statistic earlier, already scored 5 goals in all competitions prior to tonight. Well, that goal earlier on has made it 6 now in all competitions. Not bad for a defender, that, I have to say. I think if you were a full-back, I think you'd be quite happy with 6 goals all season. It'd be a good return. It'd be a good return, wouldn't it? But remember, they've got goals in their team. Remember, Dembele's the top scorer on 32 in all competitions. Then Bakala, who's alongside him on 18. Ramos 14. Doué, who scored in the 3-1 victory a week ago against Villa, has got 12 this season. They've got lots of goals in their team, but so have Villa if they can get their game going. And here is the cross coming in from Anana, and it's deflected away. A year ago, he was playing in a relegation battle with Everton and staying in the Premier League. A year on, he's playing for a place in the European Cup semi-finals. How times change as a professional footballer, as the Paris Saint-Germain fans The Parisians are having a good time in the second city, even if it's a cold, rainy night in Birmingham.
Oh, they won't mind. This is a chance for a place in the semi-final. Of course, Paris haven't won the Champions League. They've got to be thinking that this could be their year. Still some good teams left in it, though.
Yeah, and Dembele made a sneak down the right-hand side, but he was isolated. He was one against 4 Villa defenders. And in the end, Villa got it out. But now it's basically PSG just slowing the tempo down, just playing keep ball here and trying to, I think what they're trying to do is try and tire out. I think knacker is the wrong word. Tire out Aston Villa here with 26 minutes gone. I think it's a bit early to start fumbling about with the ball. You know, it's okay trying to rub teams' noses in it, but try and do it in a bit more respectful way, because it could come back to bite PSG. As I remember one time they were miles ahead in a two-legged clash with Barcelona. Even though there was controversy, Barcelona came back and won the game, and I think they scored 6 that night. So PSG can't really afford to fool around at this stage. Here another 4-1 up.
Yeah, this is an interesting one now for as far as PSG are concerned. They have to be a bit more careful. They can't be playing game management at this time. We're 25 minutes into the game.
Sorry, I thought Onana was going to get in. Carry on, Paul.
Yeah, they can't afford to be messing around like this. What'll happen, I think, if they could easily get caught out. A goal by Villa saying before half time.
Oh, but wait, no, it could be. Oh, it's in. It's 2-0 to PSG. That settles it. It's Mendes. I think it's all over now, Paul. It's a great finish just on the outside of the day, and Villa need to score 4. Oh dear.
Yeah, that's it now, I think. That's it now, I think. That's it. It's a sucker punch really as well, because Villa were playing so well.
Well, Paul, it's a classic case. They've had a couple of chances, they haven't took them, and PSG have had 2 and have scored, and it's as simple as that. Yeah,
it's very, very unlucky. But this is what you're dealing with a team like PSG when you've got a front line like that.
Hang on a minute. Was the goal scorer offside initially there? I mean, they'll check it on VAR, obviously, but he wasn't interfering with play on the first phase, was he?
No. I think that's going to stand. I don't see anything wrong with that goal.
Well, I'd be amazed if he got chalked off. It's a good left. I mean, it's a great goal, only off the post. It's a dagger for Villa, but you have to say the quality of the goals that PSG have scored over the 2 legs. And Unai Emery's reaction says it all.
No, I don't know what to say. They're going to get caught out to Villa anyway, because they were chasing the game. They want to get back in the game. They've been playing really, really good football. It's very, very unlucky in my opinion. It's a bit of a sucker punch, but like I said, when you've got a team moving forward like this in numbers, again, look at the build-up. This 4 are moving forward against 2, and look at how quick they are. It's like it's basically halfway line to penalty area in a couple of seconds.
Yeah, that's how it's been. Here's Lucadino down the Villa left now. They need 4 goals without reply to force extra time. 5 goals without reply to win the game outright. And they've got a chance here inside the penalty area if they can utilise the ball, but PSG are just so good at blanket defending here. They'll get numbers around the ball. It's like Burnley under Sean Dyche a few years ago. You get 2 banks of 4 in front of the attack. 9 times out of 10 it gets muscled out, but PSG is making a bit of a dog's dinner of trying to clear that. The Keystone Cots perhaps, but they get away with it for now. Rodgers trying to get something going, but his first touch lets him down. I mean, I know it's early to start talking about substitutions, Paul, but at this stage, I think he needs to get players like Asensio, Watkins, and maybe just change the formation of it and really, I mean, go down, and you may as well just go for it now. I know they've got a cup semi-final in a couple of weeks, but even so.
Yeah, I mean, I think at this point though, they could certainly go for it. But my concern with this is that they're going to get caught out every single time. I was mesmerised with how quick Liverpool break out this season and the numbers they break out with in the Premier League. But I'm watching this, and this is something else.
It is. I watched them earlier on in the season when they tore Brentford apart on several occasions. Albeit they won the game 2-0, Liverpool, but the way when Brentford were attacking, I think they scored from a Brentford corner, and they tore Brentford apart within 10 seconds. But I think PSG have done exactly the same tonight, and they do look hot. Red hot, and here they go again. They're off again inside the penalty area, and this time Onana gets it away. And Tielemans now to McGinn. One ball forward again, looking for Rashford, who I think could do with a bit of help up front, I have to say. But here's Tielemans. Now Morgan Rogers, far side, the right-hand side for Villa. Towards Rashford, inside the PSG penalty area, looking for John McGinn. But again, the final ball, the end product wasn't there, and offside given to the disconsolence of Marcus Rashford in particular.
Yeah.
Wicket to PSG.
I think I agree with you, JB. I think they need to bring up perhaps a second forward. And I think that could either be Asensio or Watkins.
Well, you could bring on both, really. The noise you're hearing in the background is not Aston Villa supporters. Below me and Paul in the Doug Ellis stand, there are 2,000 Parisians who are absolutely having a party in the rain in England's second city. I'll tell you what, the only people in Birmingham who will be celebrating at the moment, you have to say, Paul, are Birmingham City supporters. I think their hangover from Sunday will be forgotten about if Villa go out from their point of view. But it has been a disappointing night for Villa, and they started off so well at the start. But as I said, though, if you don't take your chances, and Pau Torres has had one chance. Morgan Rogers had that chance where he put wide, and I think that's been the difference, Paul, over the first 33 minutes or so. That the finishing has been there for PSG where it hasn't for Villa.
Yeah, I mean that's been it as well. It's not like Villa have played badly, I don't think, but they've.
Well, here goes Rashford now, trying to change on that. Now a chance there for Tielemans. They claim penalty. Referee doesn't want to know. We'll have to look at a replay. Tielemans was convinced it was a penalty. He looks towards the linesman, and Villa are furious. They are furious. We'll have to check it on the VAR, of course, as they do for every single incident. But right now, we've got Yakimi on the ball, and he finds Kvaratskhelia. Try and say that quickly. Number 7. We scored that second goal, which was a terrific goal early doors in the second half. It was really a terrific goal. No foul there on him, and Villa have possession. And it's going to be Tielemans. He's got Rashford to his left and Rogers to his right. Uses Rashford. Now McGinn on the edge of the area. Tielemans shoots. Deflected it in. Do I have one back? Now Villa Park erupts. But they need another 4. But it's a start. Yuri Tielemans. And Prince William off his feet as well. Villa back in the game, Paul James. And they needed to score that goal. It's still 5-2 on aggregate.
Still 5-2 on aggregate, but at least they've got themselves underway. It's a good start there just to get that goal tonight. That'll help them a lot. There's still a mountain to climb. It really is a Herculean task now. But there's a goal and there's a start. And Tielemans will appreciate that. He's put that one away nicely.
He has indeed. Still 1-0 to Dortmund, incidentally, in the other game. Still 3-0 to Arsenal. They've just kicked off the second half and are into 6 minutes of stoppage time in League 2. And Farsley Celtic and Radcliffe in the National League is 0-0. And Weston-super-Mare 1, Tonbridge Angels 0. That's in the South Division. Farsley Celtic and Radcliffe in the North Division. And they're the only matches around Europe this evening. Amazing to think.
At that, JB. I just wonder whether that's going to go down as an own goal.
Possibly. Now that's one for the dubious goals committee. I think it was on target. I think Tielemans will claim it. Anyway, we've got 10 minutes to go to half-time. It's Aston Villa 1 now, PSG 2 on the night. And it's 5-2 on aggregate to PSG, but they're absolutely messing about. And Villa almost cashed in again. And now McGinn is having a set-to with one of the PSG players. And the Villa captain could be in a little bit of trouble. Hakimi's down in a bit of a heat. Now, let's have a look at this, Paul. There's a coming together. And Hakimi gets his foot tangled. Now, is Hakimi making a meal of this? Or is he trying to get McGinn sent off? I mean, looking at that, well, look at that. Well, that should be a red card for Hakimi. He's literally kicked out at John McGinn and could have even broken his nose out. Look at that, Paul.
Oh, dear. That's terrible.
I know he hasn't touched him, but intent is there. And that has to be looked at on VAR. It has to be.
Well, that's perhaps where the melee all began. It was definitely, I mean, it was a late challenge by McGinn to begin with, but, you know, I mean, at the end of the day, you also have to consider the facts that it's a late challenge, it's a free kick. You know, McGinn doesn't want to be getting involved in this now.
Doesn't excuse. I mean, I'm looking at the replay here, Paul. That doesn't excuse that, surely. I mean,
no, he's
the Villa fans are saying that he's not fit. The referee is getting abuse from the Villa fans, saying you're not fit to referee. I mean, come on. I mean, he's lashed out there.
Oh,
the
yes,
is there.
You
can't get away with that. I'm sorry, you just can't.
No, you can see he's kicked out, and he might well have connected with him, actually, when I look at it from the other angle. He might well have connected, or he didn't, with his knee perhaps, but the intent is there, and VAR should definitely look at that, and I think they are, JB.
Well, they haven't, because we've got on the way again, but I mean, I've looked at the replay several times, and I've seen players sent off for less in the Premier League. I don't know what they do down at VAR, wherever it's definitely not Stockley Park they look at it, because we're in a UEFA competition. I mean, there'll be some far off his box somewhere in Europe they check this, and I have to say, I'm mesmerised that VAR haven't taken strong action there. I don't even think he got a booking, Paul.
Yeah,
nothing's been confirmed on my monitor anyway.
No, I agree. I haven't seen anything either, but I do wonder there whether that was obviously completely missed. But I don't know, when you've got two linesmen, you've got an official there. I don't know how that gets missed.
And 30 TV cameras as well. You know,
yeah.
Well, I said 6 years ago, as Martinez gets the ball away. I said about 6 years ago, let's give VAR a chance. And my old pal Chris Whiteman, if you're listening, Chris, good evening to you. He said VAR is a stupid invention. People will want it ditched after 3 years. And he was right. And this is where VAR should be getting involved, but they're not.
No, and he lashed out with his leg. Now, didn't Beckham get sent off in 1998 for that? Do you remember? Something similar.
Yeah, Diego Simeone.
Yeah.
And he rolled around. I mean, that changed the complexion of the match. And he could have been a penalty taker that night in that game as well. And if he'd have stayed on the field, he might have took one instead of David Batty. But it's all ifs and buts. It's nearly 28 years ago since that happened. I think we've moved on a little bit from 28 years now, I think, as far as England are concerned. But here in the Champions League, it's a cross coming in, and it's away by Konza and Villa. They don't need to concede. They can't afford to concede another. They've given it away right in the dangerous area, and they could be in real trouble now. Shot comes in, and it's well parried as Ruiz had the shot inside the area, and Martinez has kept Villa ready. Now down the other end, we've got Marcus Rashford down the left-hand side, deep inside PSG territory. But again, good Paris Saint-Germain defending, and that's got off the corner flag, and for a Villa throw, to the vast disappointment of the capacity crowd.
Yeah, leading up to that play, once again, Paris Saint-Germain showing that they are a threat when they go forward. And again, they're not afraid to break out in numbers. They're not, if you will, clinging on to this lead. Looking at this build-up again, there's 5-6 of them there. And it's a good piece of defending, in fact, by Matty Cash. But nevertheless, they break forward in numbers, and it's very difficult to defend against.
Ukading with a long throw. Didn't come too much, but he'll get a second bite with the cross. It's a bit overhit the cross. And the ball comes to Pau Torres on the far side now. Gets the ball back in there. Good play from Konza. And Konza's inside the area. Konza knocks it back. Deflection. Oh, it just wouldn't fall for a Villa player, but they've kept it in play. And it out to Ukading. Manon, says the Villa fans. Gets the cross in, but it's too deep, but it's beyond everybody. And another chance goes a begging. And out for a throw for PSG.
Well, it shows that Villa are still building up. They're trying to create chances. My thoughts on this is that Aston Villa, they've got to start taking these chances. They've got to get at least another one before half time, I would say. And that will give them something to aim for in the second half.
And don't forget, they've got that strong bench to recall upon, but also you've got, when you look at the other bench as well, you've got people like Zaire Emery, who could have scored this last week. You've got Ramos, who's Magola Ramos as well. You've got Doué. And now we're going to see a yellow card. And it's Kabasala, who's been taken out, looks like, by John McGinn. Looks like a professional foul job. It was. And I can understand McGinn's frustration, not getting a red card. Well, maybe the PSG number 7 maybe ran into him and got the Villa man booked, perhaps. Maybe a bit of gamesmanship there.
Well, it's one of those, isn't it, that the referee has to make a call on, and you call on based on what you see. I think that's probably the case there, a yellow card for John McGinn. Well, I mean, he wants to try to keep this now under control. He doesn't want to let his emotions get the better of him. If Aston Villa are going to have any chance at all of getting back into this game, it's going to be down to somebody like John McGinn and his performances in the midfield.
Well, with him on a booking now, I mean, would Emery be, if it's still the same from half-time, another free kick to PSG, which should take him quickly. But I think if you're Umar Emery now and you're in his boots, would you take McGinn off at half-time and maybe put Asensio on? That could be a bit more. I mean, to be fair to McGinn, he's a good, hard-working midfield player, but his temperament's really getting the better of him tonight. I have to say that. But would you be tempted to take him off at this stage, considering where Villa are in the tie?
Well, he's a very, very good player, JB.
I know.
It's difficult. It's a hard decision to make. But having said that, the last thing you want is going down to 10 men. So
exactly.
Yeah. Well, this is why I'm where I am, and where Unai Emery is where he is. So I'll let him make that decision. Bless him.
Okay. Well, Tielemans has been penalised just down below us here. We're standing in the Doug Ellis stand, and we've got the Trinity Road on the far side, the O10 to our left, and the North stand with all the two rows of executive boxes are, and that's where PSG were attacking, and the flag has stayed down. And what's the ref giving here? Free kick, it looks like, to Aston Villa. I thought it might have even been, I mean, it cuts my mind, maybe a penalty maybe for PSG now. That would have wrecked everything for Villa then, but never mind, they got the free kick, and it's Ukading. If Villa can just get one now in the next 60 seconds, maybe or less, then it's game on, I feel. But they have to go for it. Cash down the right-hand side, but he's down the cul-de-sac. Hasn't got too much in the way of support. Uses Konza. Konza battering on halfway. Can't afford to lose possession at that point. Ball over the top. Kamara wins the second ball for Villa. Gets down the touchline. Cash inside the penalty area, but well tackled there. And there's a huge groan from the Villa fans. And now Dembele looked offside from first glance. He's allowed to go on. It's Dembele now to PSG, but he's knocked it over the top. Now the whistle has gone. And Villa, for the moment anyway, survive.
Yes, I mean, Dembele is incredibly quick. And over the top this time.
I tell you what, Paul, I don't think that was offside at all. I thought he was level.
It's a tight one, isn't it? It depends. Well, of course, if he'd have put the ball in the net, then that would have been interesting, wouldn't it?
It would have been rather controversial as well, I must admit. I thought, from first glance, from where we're sitting on the halfway line, he looked offside. But when we look at it from the TV angle from the 18-yard line, I thought he was just on. But it's millimetres around the offside. They do have the semi-automated malarkey in UEFA competition. Anyway, we've got 1 added minute at the end of a highly competitive first half here. What we'll do at half time is take a 5-minute break, and then I will round up all the other scores from around Europe and England. Of course, we've got a WSL game, a League Two game as well to keep you abreast of. And of course, we've got the other quarter-final, which is still 1-0, incidentally, between Dortmund and Barcelona, but Barcelona leading on aggregate. And right on cue, the referee from France, or Spain rather, brings it to a close. So Unai Emery has got some more work to do. It's got to earn his corner at half time. There's no doubt about that. Earn his keep. Hakimi had put PSG in front early doors. Then Mendes made it 2. But Yuri Tillemans has given Villa hope there. And it's 2-1 on the night to PSG. So 5-2 on aggregate. But Paul James, when we look at it there, Villa played, as you've said in the first half, Villa haven't played badly, but they still have to be a bit more braver and still have to take their chances. They're not out of this by any means if they get the next goal.
No, and I think it's important, though, that they get an early goal because they still need 3 here just to take it to extra time. It's a lot to ask for, but we've seen it before, haven't we? You know, it's not impossible, but this Paris team, when I look at them, JB, all I see here is winners. I see a team that is playing extremely good football. They move forward in numbers. They are going to be a handful for any defence in this competition. And I think about Arsenal, who have the best defence in the Premier League. Let's assume for a moment, and this is a big assumption, but let's assume for a moment they do get past Madrid. They have got to play them in the semi-final, presumably Paris get past Villa. And I don't even think the best defence in the Premier League can handle this so easily.
No, but I mean, we can't make assumptions, and we're not being disrespectful to neither Aston Villa or Real Madrid at this point, because as we know, you cannot say it's over until it's over. So let's not make assumptions this is going to be a foregone conclusion, because if Aston Villa get the next goal, then you may well start asking questions. Are PSG as good as everyone says they are? But it's all in a melting pot now anyway, that's for sure. Thanks, Paul. We'll hear from you again in a few minutes' time. We're going to take a short break on the TC Hub. Time to go and get the bob rolling. I'm going to get the bubbles in for me and Paul. Whilst I do that, you two go and get yourself a nice cup of tea and a bite to eat, because I tell you what, if the second half is any good as the first, you're going to be in for one hell of a treat. Hard time here then at Villa Park. Aston Villa 1, PSG 2. But it's PSG leading 5-2 on aggregate. And we'll join you right in after the break in 5 minutes' time. See you then. Welcome back to Villa Park, where with me, JB, John Stutter, you're listening to the Commentary Hub, Focus on Football and Storm FM tonight, incidentally, because we've had so much going on in this first half. We didn't give you a chance to talk about stuff. Of course, you've got the comment section as well, open for business as well. Please, if you're listening on any of those three channels, YouTube channels, please, A, give us a like, and B, obviously let us know what's gone on. Let us know what you thought about that first half as well, and we'll read a few of them out. Obviously, keep your comments clean. We're still a family show. Anyway, whilst we're at half-time here in this Aston Villa PSG game, PSG leading 5-2, and again, let's keep you abreast with all the other scores tonight, starting with the other quarter-final in the Champions League. Dortmund 1, Barcelona 0. Guerresi with an 11th-minute penalty, giving Dortmund the lead at the signal in Duna Park, but Barcelona still have those four goals from the first leg, and they lead 4-1. So still, Barcelona, you would make absolute favourites to go through there. And Barcelona just shading it on possession and everything like that. But Dortmund, in fact, looking at the statistics, have had 10 shots and 7 on target, so they could have easily scored another 3 there. In the Women's Super League, it's now Arsenal 4, Leicester City 1. Ford with 2 goals, Maxtinius with 1, and Beth Megan in the other. Makimi with a Leicester reply. That's in the WSL, that's the Women's Super League. In League 2, with about 7 minutes gone in the second half there, it's Salford 1, Doncaster Rovers 1. And a win for Salford would put them 2 points outside the playoffs, but Doncaster with a victory could move second in the table. Luke Garbett with Ryan Street with the opening goal for Donny on 21 minutes. Luke Garbett with the equaliser on 27. And as things stand at the moment, Doncaster will be outside the playoffs. Will be outside the top 3 on goal difference at the moment. Port Vale leading the way with 76 points. Then Bradford City with 73 points in second. And then Donny and Walsall are joined together on 72 points each. But Walsall have a goal difference of plus 21, the Donnies plus 15, and that's why they're out of the playoffs. They're out of the top 3 at the moment. Salford are just 4 points behind the playoffs as things stand. So that's the situation in League 2. As regards elsewhere in the National League's North, it's Farsley Celtic 0, Radcliffe 0, and in the South, in the National League South, it's Western Supermare 1, Tonbridge Angels 0, Pearson with a goal on 10 minutes. They just started the second half, incidentally, in that one, and they've also started the second half in the North game between Farsley and Radcliffe. I'm not even going to go through the Chinese or the South African one, it's just no point. So let's check other sporting news as we still await the arrival of the 2 teams in the second half. Adam Peaty was convinced to go again. He was Adam Peaty is now going to be going back into the Olympics as well. So one of his so he's going to be coming back to LA. He hopes to qualify for the LA Olympics, the swimmer. And there was there's also been an incident as well in the Saxo Bank Classic cycling race. The person who spat on cyclist Matteo De Paul during last month's E3 Saxo Bank Classic has been identified and fined, according to Belgian police. Dutch rider Van der Poel, who won the race on the 28th of March, was spat on in the East Flanders city of Ronser, leading solo with about 30 kilometres remaining. The East Flanders Prosecutor's Office have confirmed from AFP that the Rons police have identified the culprit and has admitted spitting on the rider. The individual will have to pay £300, that's €350, but the case will not be taken any further. Boxing, Tyson Fury will never fight again, according to his promoter Bob Arum. The 36-year-old Briton made the surprise decision after losing to Alexander Usyk. Alexander Usyk before Christmas. He has retired more than once in his illustrious career. The American promoter who has promoted him does not expect another U-turn. And he says, if I was a betting man, I would say he'd never fight again. Marvin Hagler had an expression, a rich guy that goes to bed wearing silk pajamas doesn't get up in the morning to do road work. Tyson really, I don't think, wants to get up in the morning and do road work and go through the experience of having to train in a gymnasium when economically he does not need to do it anymore. But despite the retirement announcement, it has not stopped rivals calling Fury out or fans speculating about a potential return following an appearance of him working out in his personal gymnasium. Now, Fury has retired a whopping 5 times, including in 2017, having a dispute of UK anti-doping, before making his comeback in 2018, after beating Dylan White in April 2022, returning later that year. Now, his last 3 fights have took place in Saudi Arabia, having last fought in the UK in 2022 when he outclassed Derek Chisora at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Fury has a record of 34 wins, 1 draw and 2 defeats. Those 2 losses came against Uska from the Ukraine, who ended Fury's 15-year unbeaten streak as a professional in their first contest since last May, before winning the December rematch. So that's and also Eddie Earner's added fuel to the fire, suggesting that the long-awaited domestic bout between Fury and Joshua could happen should the Gypsy King personally reach out to his domestic rival. I'm not sure that Fury needs to prove anything, really. But we're back underway, incidentally, in the second half while I was reading the sports news. So they took us all by surprise. What do Villa need to do now to get back into this game?
Well, it doesn't look like they made any half-time substitutions, JB, so I suppose an early goal certainly is what's needed in order to, maybe frighten Paris Saint-Germain a little bit. But let's see if they can do that. I suspect if we haven't seen anything by at least the 60th minute mark, surely changes are coming then.
Yeah, and there was a little bit of elbow in John McGinn's face, but I think it was purely accidentally. I think McGinn wanted a bit more than... I think it would have been harsh to have sent the play off for an elbow. Anyway, it didn't matter. But Villa know that the next goal is important. They're attacking the north stand, incidentally, in the second half, as opposed to the old end, which they attacked in the first. So Villa with it all to do, but they know that a goal for them early doors in the second half. I think, Paul, if I was a betting man, I would say I wouldn't leave until the 60th minute. I'd wait until at least a good 4 or 5 minutes into the second half, maybe, and then start changing things. Because John McGinn, the way he's going at the moment, if he keeps up the ill discipline, well, he could be shown a second yellow and send off the field. But let's see.
Yeah, well, he has to be a bit more careful, doesn't he? It did look like an elbow, but it looked like an accidental elbow. He wasn't even looking, really, was the attacking player. He can complain to the referee, but I didn't see altogether anything dirty about that.
Well, Hakimi, as Paul James was talking, has been fouled by Pau Torres. They're pulled back by the Villa defender. So a 3 kick to PSG on the far side then. Just to remind you, now on the television stream that I have here at Villa Park, the host broadcaster is Amazon Prime, incidentally. They have 5 marks each between each club's name on the scoreboard. Now, those 5 marks indicates the amount of substitutions they will be making throughout the course of the second half. Now, if it does, by some miracle, go to extra time, they will be allowed to bring on an extra 6 substitutes, as we saw the other week in the FA Cup at Brighton, between Brighton and Nottingham Forest, of course. But at least, Paul, we were last together at Brighton and we saw a very poor match. At least this game has lived up to all the hype and the billing from a neutral's point of view. Yeah,
it's been very exciting. Both sides going for it, if you will. So I don't think we've been short of entertainment.
No, and if you're a neutral lucky enough to pay £40 for a ticket, well, I suppose you've got your value for money, whatever side you support. Here's Yuri Tillemans now inside his own half, gets the ball out to Luca Dean, who does well with a cushion header into the path from McGinn. McGinn goes past one towards the area, uses Dean on the far side. This needs to be an accurate cross. McGinn with a header and just wide of the far right-hand post. But Villa making some good headway there. John McGinn, that's the more positive side to his play, Paul.
Yeah, and that's the reason why he needs to stay on the field, really. But he's got to be very careful now. The referee is aware of him. Any tackle that is mistimed could result in a red card, so he has to be very careful.
Yep, but there's Ollie Watkins, one of the substitutes. I wonder how long Emery will leave it before unleashing him, and maybe Asensio, who, when I was last at Villa Park doing the FA Cup tie between Villa and Cardiff at the start of last month, I thought Asensio was absolutely superb on the night, took his goals beautifully, and could have easily had a hat-trick in that game. But it took Villa a while to break down a stubborn Cardiff side. But they've had in good form in the league. Had a good win the other week against Nottingham Forest, and had a good win on Saturday against Southampton, and could afford to miss 2 penalties as well. All possession, still you'd think PSG have had 63% to Villa's 37%, but Villa are doing a bit more with the 37% than they have been in the first. That's a foul. That's a foul. Morgan Rogers complains to the referee, looks daggers at him, but that ball is 99 times out of 100. That's a clear foul.
Yeah, there's no point complaining. I have no idea why professional footballers do that. The referee's not going to change his mind, especially when it's something as clear as that.
And the Parisians are still having a good time despite the fact that they conceded right before the break. I wonder if they'll be celebrating if Villa were to get 2 more in the next 10 minutes or so. But I know it's wishful thinking, but well, you've got to give hope for the Villa. They're a good side. Whenever I've been to Villa Park this season to commentate on them, and this is my 3rd time covering them in all manner of competitions. They beat Manchester City here, and I saw them beat Cardiff in the FA Cup. And it's the first time I've seen them in Europe this season as a commentator. They've had some impressive wins in Europe, no more so than on opening night on the second night against Bayern Munich, when John Duran, who's now not with the club, scored a wonderful goal to beat Vincent Kompany's Bayern Munich that night. And
yeah, it brought back memories, didn't it, of the European Cup victory.
And Rashford might get in there. Rashford on the rebound. He couldn't sink it in, and PSG managed to get sufficient numbers to get it out. But Villa are not finished yet. Not for this, not by a long chalk. They're on the attack again with Kamara. Cash has got it. He's an outlet on the right-hand side, but he goes in field instead. Rogers. Oh, that's not a good ball. And they should have used Cash when they had the opportunity. That's surely going to be offside. That's surely going to be offside. The linesman's surely going to put his flag up. The ball's in the back of the net. Now the offside flag is up. But why on earth did the linesman not 10 seconds before put his flag up when he knew so well he was offside? He's beyond the halfway line. But why at that point did he not put his flag up there? That really winds me up when linesmen do that, because it just wastes 10 seconds of time.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? It's
I thought I've got a lot to answer for there on that one.
Yeah,
it's stupid rule, and it needs punishing.
Well,
here's Cash. He's inside the area. Cash knocks it back across. They appeal handballs. It was half-hearted more from the Villa fans than anything else. And a free kick to PSG. Sorry, Paul.
Oh yeah, we've been talking about that for years, JB, haven't we? You know,
me and you, yes, on many countless commentaries that we've done together. That's not a handball, by the way. That was off the chest.
He's offside by about 4 yards. I'm looking at the replay here. Like, there's no reason for the official not to put his flag up. It's so blatantly obvious.
But the sooner IFAB, who devised this stupid rule for offside, change it, the better. And I've been calling for that change for years. And that looks suspicious like offside, but it's been allowed to go on. It's Bakuna. And here's a chance. Good block. Kvaratskhelia struck it from just inside the D and was well blocked. And PSG still not finished yet. Mendes, and now the shot way over the top by Fatinia, and a goal kick to Villa.
Oh, just going back to that Marcus Rashford chance, well, you know, I think the
we did have
goalkeeper does very well.
He does, and because we were talking about that ridiculous offside rule, I think we have to give a bit more respect to Donnarumma, haven't we?
Oh, he spread himself very well. It was a super save. He's still, in my opinion, he's one of the premier goalkeepers of the world. And this is what makes Paris Saint-Germain so good. It's not just their attack. They are good in all areas of the field.
And a goal! John McGinn! Now we've got a game on. It's 2-2 on the night. And it's 5-3 on aggregate. And all of a sudden, Paul, Villa Park believes as Prince William claps again. The captain leading by example. Let's see what happened. McGinn picked the ball up on halfway and just ran at them. He just literally ran at them and had a shot, and then it went. 2-2.
Well, we were talking about John McGinn and his importance to being on the field, and I think that has just been proven there. John McGinn, that is a super bit of play by him, and smart decision by Unai Emery to keep him on the field, and Villa are back in this now.
They need 2 more, and the Parisians will be quivering, because we've only had 10 minutes in the second half. But what a time to get it. 5-3 on aggregate. What a game we've got on our hands now. If Villa score again, then Villa must believe.
Oh, you can see Prince William now. He's on his feet cheering away.
Isn't he just? Isn't he just? Now McGinn. And he's got Dean on the overlap if he chooses to. Uses him, but there's 2 PSG defenders around him. Now Villa must believe, and they've got people they can call upon on the bench as well. Maybe you had a point, Paul. McGinn is so important, but remember he's carrying that yellow card. He can't afford to make one more slip up. That was the best side of his game, but here come PSG down the other end. Good tackle. Cash took the ball superbly. Now Villa are getting stuck in now, and PSG know they're in the game now.
Well, there's only 2 goals in it now. If they get another quick one now, we are going to be in for one heck of a roller coaster.
And here goes Rashford. It's Rashford now on the edge of the area. Rashford shoots! What a save by Donnarumma! And he celebrates as if his team have just scored. This is a magnificent performance from Villa, and what a magnificent shot, and an equally good save. Wow!
What a save by Donnarumma.
What a save, yes.
I was saying he was one of the world's premier goalkeepers. There's the proof right there.
The proof is in the pudding. You could hardly credit it. Corner now to be taken from the near side by Rashford. Oh, no, went the heads, but it was a Paris one that met it. Rashford. Play on, says the referee. Oh, what a bit of skill. He nutmegged the defender. And he's back to. Ball back across. Goal! Goal for Villa! They've got another one! This is turning out to be a 9.5 here at Villa Park! It's 3-2! And now problems for Luis Enrique. It's Ezri Konsa with the side of his right foot. And Villa are winning 1 goal! 3-2 on the night! 5-4 in aggregate! What a match, Paul James! We are witnessing an absolute classic! Wow! What a goal, and what skill by Rashford.
Didn't I just say if they get another one, we're going to be in for a roller coaster, JB? And that is what we're looking at right now.
And what a cultured finish from Ezri Konsa. And kind of dare I say it, that's for a centre-back, that is a cultured finish, PJ.
Oh, an absolutely superb
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. And I wonder if we'll get a shot of Prince William. Oh, look at that Villa supporter. Oh, this is unbelievable.
Any striker will be proud of that goal, JB. Any striker.
And there he is. He's just clapping. And look at Prince George as well. Look, this is fantastic. This is absolutely fantastic. Villa Park. I've seen it rock in my time as a commentator, but never, ever have I seen it rock as I've seen it tonight in the last 10 minutes.
Oh, JB, I think for the first time our commentary position shook when that goal went in.
It shook to the foundations, and if it goes in again, And the remarkable thing is now, Paul, if Villa have got more than half an hour to score twice.
Yeah.
We might not even, if they score twice without reply, they can win the tie. Think about it.
Oh, I just want to take a look at those Paris fans over there. They're not quite so jubilant now, are they?
They're not, they're quiet. That looks offside against Rashford. Ball played into the area. Not our way. Bernards saves. McGinn on the rebound. A side netting. And the flag didn't go up at all. And that should have been 3-3.
Oh, what a chance.
Oh, I'm losing count of everything. This was a great opportunity. It looked as if it was going in, but Donnarumma again showing his class.
Oh, JB, take a deep breath, my friend. You are going to have a coronary before this night is over. But
Sean Connery at this, well, Sean Connery at this stage, I think. Anyway, it's a corner for Villa, and it's come out to Tielemans on the volley, and then the header goes over the top. And again, more hesitant PSG defending Paul Torres. It was a very difficult chance.
Oh, yes, it was, but they've got Paris Saint-Germain on the ropes right now. They are rocking right now at the moment as Villa are just playing some absolutely sublime football. And as I look again at that Donnarumma save, I mean, again, any other goalkeeper would be struggling to get there. But again, it's a superb save, and we are going to be entertained for the next half an hour, JB. I can promise you that.
I tell you what, Paul. I tell you what. I've got to be honest. It's been amazing. It's been amazing to watch here, and I can't believe what I'm witnessing here. We've got half an hour to go. Just to remind everybody, Aston Villa lead on the night 3-2. Bakala has come off, and Doué, who scored the third in the first game, he's now on. But it's 3-2 on the night, 5-4 to PSG. When we get a breaking play and a chance to catch our breaths, now PSG now have had I've got 4 white lines on my monitor because I'm taking the Amazon Prime feed on my monitor. So on their scoreboard, they've got 4 dashes. That's the amount of substitutes PSG have got left. Villa have still got all 5 of theirs.
It's 2-1 now in the other game, by the way.
2-1. Is it Dortmund who are leading 2-1?
Dortmund leading 2-1. Gassari with his second, and Ben Esbani for Barcelona.
So that's 5-2 I make it on aggregate to them. So it looks like Barcelona are going through there. It would take I said at our time it would. We were saying off air at our time it would be a Titanic promotion to get proportions for Villa to get back into it, but you wouldn't even put it past Dortmund to score 3 against Barcelona. This is the unpredictability of Champions League football, I suppose. I mean, look at the attempts. 13 for Villa, 5 to PSG, 7 on target to PSG's 3. I mean, if they'd just... I mean, it's amazing to think if that third goal from Doué doesn't happen, we would be level on aggregate. But now, here come PSG. Cross comes in, it's off Conte, it's a corner to them.
Well, PSG now are... what Villa now need to do now is they need to defend very tightly in the areas that they need to defend. They need to do the basic stuff right. Yes, they want to press forward. Yes, they want to get an equaliser, but they do need to defend well because a goal conceded now will just break their hearts.
Absolutely, Paul. So they must defend stoutly. They still must go for it, Villa. Ball comes into the penalty area, comes out on the volley, and knocked away once more. Rashford has had a terrific second half, and here he goes. He's nicked the ball again, and his team have won a throw. But the Villa fans now, they know they're playing a huge part. They're the 12th man, the Holt End, and the North Stand really playing. All the Villa supporters around Villa Park playing their part in what's been a stirring second half display. And if they were to score now, why, word, it would be like Liverpool 2019 revisited. And I was there that night, commentating for JB Sports. And I tell you what, the atmosphere in that night was absolutely immense. But anything from Villa Well, look at Luis Enrique. His body language says it all now. I mean, he knows his team have just really been so complacent. It's untrue. And always seen a PSG implosion like it was about 9 years ago when they looked dead set to beat Barcelona and Barcelona knocked in 6.
Yeah, I mean, this is the thing. I said earlier on in the first half that all it takes is for you to lose focus for just a couple of seconds and you can concede a couple of goals fairly easily when the quality is what you have at this level of the game.
Well, Villa yet to use a sub. Doué on for PSG, Paris Saint-Germain to give a Sunday name. And on a balmy Tuesday night in Birmingham, Villa leading 3-2 on the night. 5-4 PSG lead on aggregate. They were 2-0 down and seemingly out of it, Villa. Well, they got one before half-time. They've scored one they scored another 10 minutes ago. It seems to have died down a little bit, the Villa attack, but they need to make a change, and they're going to make one in a moment, but they can't afford to lose one here. And the ball across, good save from Martinez at the near post. And if that had gone in, it would have been curtains.
Well, we're being treated to an excellent game. Both sides attacking. Paris Saint-Germain as well, trying to kill the game off here. It's a really good save by the goalkeeper. Martinez, he's got a big role to play in this last 25 minutes or so.
Absolutely. Konza scoring that goal. That's his second of the season. And I tell you what, for a defender like Konza, that was a cultured finish. So Tillemans, Konza and McGinn for Villa, Mendes and Hakimi for PSG. And it seems a lifetime ago since the opening goal. And I must admit, I was a little bit caught out. They're going to make a double change here, Villa. And it's going to be Asensio. And we're also going to see Jacob Ramsey come on. John McGinn being substituted. Now, that really, in essence, Paul, is not really a great surprise.
No. I mean, he's played his role in getting Villa back into this.
Onana, the other player, has been substituted, incidentally.
Yeah, but I can sort of see why he wants to change it up a bit now.
Also, Asensio is a quality player. Has scored crucial goals for Villa. Scored some crucial ones in the FA Cup against Cardiff, of course. Missed 2 penalties, though, against Southampton, but it didn't matter in the end. So Villa have now got 3 subs left. PSG, the 4. Cash with a throw for Villa. Will the fresh legs make a difference to Aston Villa? Remember, another goal would level the tie, and if it was to end 4-2, you know what that means. Extra time. And me and Paul James have done many a commentary on games where it's gone to extra time.
Yeah.
Here's Rashford, but he's run out of pitch.
We seem to keep doing that, don't we? It seems to happen a lot.
We do. And just to remind you, if it's level after that, if it's still the same, or for the aggregate scores the same, as we look at John McGinn's extra set missile, I tell you what, if it's level after that, if it's level on aggregate after that, if it goes that far, you guessed it, it will be a penalty shootout. And if it gets that far, I will re-explain the rules of penalties as and when we get to it, but it's a big if. Villa might not score again, but then again, they might score 2 with 23 minutes to go. We've played 67 and a half minutes here at Villa Park. And Asensio and Ramsey confirmed now as the players on. So, Paul James, I'm going to put it to you here and now. Can Villa get another goal?
Well, it's very possible the way they're playing.
Wait a minute. Oh, no, just for a moment. Just hold that thought. Right, Villa have got possession. Carry on.
Yeah, it's very possible the way that they're playing. Very possible, but it's also just as equally possible for them to give up a goal as well. So they really have to not neglect defensive duties and doing the basics right.
Absolutely, and here goes Matty Cash, who's had a marvellous game this second half. He really has. And here comes Jacob Ramsey, who's been in good form as well. 4 goals this season. But his assist record has been exceptional. But here's Osmo Here's Dembele, who so far has not added to his 32 goals in all competitions this season.
Well, he's not had a sniff tonight, has he?
I can't remember saying his name 3, maybe 4 times throughout the whole commentary. And I was expecting to see his name a lot more than that. Free kick for Villa.
No, he's come across.
Presumably on Konza. So Villa with possession. But remember, they can ill afford to concede another. If they do, I'm afraid that will be it. Oh, Asensio's in! Asensio! Oh, it's a great save by Donnarumma. That's 3 world-class saves he's just pulled off. And that, surely, Paul, was the best yet.
Oh, wow.
Free kick to Villa.
Oh, my goodness me.
Let's
Tell
see that
me
again,
how
Paul,
he
James.
saved
Let's see that again,
that.
PJ. This is the best yet. Oh. What do you reckon?
I'll take my hat off to him. I have to. That was a sensational save.
It's what you would call a leg saver.
Yeah.
I think that's how you term it in commentary, Paul.
Well, he's done fun.
Yeah, so listen back to some of the old commentaries between you and I, and you refer to them as leg savers, I think. Anyway, the danger's not over yet for PSG. 20 minutes exactly to play. Is it going to be Rashford with a 3 kick on this side? In it goes in the area! Oh, there was a diving header from Konza, and he was about half an inch away from connecting. And if he had got any nick on that, it was 5-all on aggregate. Oh, my word. How close? Oh, it just needed better contact. And Henry can't believe it.
Yeah, I'm just taking a look at Donnarumma's save again. What is it I keep hearing over in Canada? A kick save and a beauty. A kick save and a beauty.
Beauty. Well, it certainly was a beauty of a save.
Yeah.
And it would have been a beauty for Aston Villa if Konza had nodded with his, gone in with his head. He made a great effort to try and get within, half an inch of the ball. I tell you what, folks, I'm actually recording myself for the last half an hour of the second half as a Facebook special, a night in the life of a YouTube commentator. And I tell you what, we've got some goldmine material now for the listeners at home. They can see my mannerisms, they can see what I'm doing, and it's just remarkable. I'll tell you what.
How close was that?
It was so close. It really was, Paul. I cannot emphasize the fact that if Konza had got just a percentage of a touch on that, and it was goal bound, it was 5-all on aggregate. It would have been 4-2 on the night, 5-all on aggregate, and we would have been looking at an all different ball game. We still might yet, because Villa have done most of the attacking second half, and they've really given it a good go. And even if they do fail tonight, this is it again on the replay. Oh, he needed a bit more of a contact. Maybe at the last second, he may have just took his eye off the ball.
That's unfortunate, isn't it? And
that's
a fine margin Sean Dyche used to speak about, isn't it?
He still speaks about to this day on podcast and radio and the like. The referee's taken a tumble there, and Neves is gone down as well. The referee had to stop it. It's the rule these days. If the referee's bumped into and knocked down, the referee has to stop it, which I think is quite a ridiculous rule, I must admit. But, I mean, who makes these decisions in IFAB?
I don't know. I think a lot of the rules are a bit weird now, JB.
And also the fact that a team that gets an advantage with a drop ball, get a drop ball and let 2 players compete for it, like the old days.
Yeah.
Now, who's he giving it to here? Is he giving it Villa or is he giving it PSG? I'm totally lost. I'm totally lost for words here. Have a proper contest. Let's have a proper contest for a drop ball, like the good old days.
Talking about the good old days, I just finished Shelton Wellesby's book recently. I mean, that was that took me back. That took me back.
No,
great times, JB.
I've got it on Kindle, that's for sure. It's a great. If you honestly buy it from Amazon, I think it's about £12. It's well worth your money. Elton Wellesby, Game for a Laugh. Well, me and Paul have been certainly more than game for a laugh tonight. It's been an absolute fest. And it's going to get better now because we're going to see Ollie Watkins in a second.
I think the referee should send himself off for that challenge.
Maybe he should, Paul. Maybe he should.
Caught him with the elbow and right there, didn't he?
He did. He did. He did. Oh, dear. Anyway, Asensio getting his... He hasn't really had much chance to show, but there's still about 18 minutes to play, folks. And there's still a long way to go in this one yet. Villa get another one. Me and Paul are in for a night shift. And remember, Paul has got to get off to Madrid overnight because he's covering the other quarter-final involving an English team. Arsenal away in Madrid tomorrow. Arsenal with a 3-0 lead. Now, if Arsenal are watching this in their Madrid hotel tonight, knowing that Villa had a big deficit to make up after, 20 minutes, this will be like Mikel Arteta's team talk. Don't do what Paris Saint-Germain have just done tonight.
Yeah, that's it. That's it, exactly, because, Arsenal face an entirely different clash. I mean, at the Bernabeu, Real Madrid are capable of just about anything.
Not only that, there's going to be 80,000 playing Spaniards cheering for them. It's going to be an atmosphere that they've never encountered. Now, we're going to see Ian Maatsen on for Villa, and also we're going to see Ollie Watkins, like for Rashford, and also Luca Dean's being replaced. Now, Maatsen, as we know, being Burnley fans, Paul, is an absolute bundle of joy down left or right flank, and the amount of pace the man has got is absolutely extraordinary.
Oh yeah, he's going to add some pace down that left-hand side, all right. And this late in the game might challenge some of those tired Paris Saint-Germain defenders.
Yep. Ball back to Donnarumma and uses Pacquiao. Pacquiao gets it forward. And I think it's a wise move by Emery, who's got one substitute left. PSG still have the 4, so they can still bring on fresh legs if they choose to. And here's a chance now. This could be threatened for Villa. Good save to deny Dembele his 33rd of the season. And how crucial could that save on the near post by Andy Martinez, PJ, prove to be? And again, Alex Saver.
Yeah, it's one of them, isn't it? He has to make that save because if it goes in, it's game over. And so that's really good play by Emi Martinez, keeping Villa in the game. Let's see how that plays out now in the next 15 minutes.
Corner taken short. He didn't come to much. The ball then knocked forward and it's out for a throw. And Luis Enrique, he's... well, both managers actually, Paul, have gone through the whole expressions, a whole heap of emotions: joy, sadness, frustration, anger. It's now a question now, the next 15 minutes or so, who's got the bottle?
Yeah.
At the moment, as things stand, if Villa were to get one, they certainly have the bottle. But let's see what's going to happen. I can't predict what's going to happen in the next 15 minutes of football, but I tell you what, Villa are going to get one more chance.
Oh, absolutely. And I think if Villa get the next goal, I think I'd be hard-pressed to bet against them winning it.
I'll tell you what, if they do get the next goal, it'll be utter bedlam. Donnarumma kicks away, and let's not forget his contribution tonight. 3 world-class saves, but here come Villa now, looking to get away, but now this could be a problem. It could well be a problem because Doué's on the break. This could be a real problem. The shot goes over the top, and a goal kick. PSG cannot afford to waste chances like this. That was a real opportunity, and he had 2 in the middle, including Dembele and Kvaratskhelia, and he used neither.
Well, maybe he saw the lights of glory, but over the crossbar, wasted. And to be honest with you, that could have put the final nail in the Villa coffin.
Yeah, well, the coffin is not for being buried yet. This has been one of the most remarkable games of Champions League football I have seen as a commentator for a very, very long time. And I've seen some down the years, commentating for the TC Hub and for JB Sports. It's one of those things. Remember, we're live on the TC Hub Focus on Football, which is Paul's own channel. And we're also live on Mike Harneman's Storm FM. Ball over the top. This is a good run. Asensio's in behind. He's got Watkins in the middle. He's got Rodgers in there too. Rodgers now, can he get it on his left foot? He can, but it's too high. Good effort though, but the ball was rising as soon as he struck it. Goal kick.
Yeah, an opportunity again for Villa there, just cutting inside, and when the shot goes over the crossbar, but it shows that they're finding holes in this Paris Saint-Germain defence, which they've still got time to exploit here.
In point of fact, he hit it well wide. As it turned out, he sliced the shot badly with his left foot. But credit to Marquinhos for narrowing the angle for him to shoot. Didn't give him any room. Donnarumma with the kick. And if PSG get through, they'll have him to thank, the big Italian goalkeeper, because he's made 3 superb world-class saves to deny the likes of McGinn, Asensio and others. So, 10.5 minutes to play. Kvaratskhelia has got a free kick for his team. They've yet to make another sub. They've only used the 1 sub. Remember, they can use up to 5. Villa, surprisingly, for all their attempts and stuff, they've only had 38% of possession, which is strange, really, when you think about it. But then again, 3 passes and you're usually in at goal. But there's still a game of football to be played, and there's still 10 minutes, and there's going to be at least 5 more for stoppage time. So you're talking, maybe 14, 15 minutes in total if you include the injury and stoppage time. Still time for Villa.
Oh yeah, absolutely. There is still time, and they are exploiting the holes in the defence. So I think if they can continue to do that, maybe they'll be able to take a chance before the end of this game.
Well, I'll tell you what, whatever it turns out, it's been a dramatic night, and we've had so many European nights like this at Villa Park down the years. Now then, it's PSG. 1 goal, could settle it there and there. Oh, that did not look a foul to me. Do we look for that? And Tielemans is livid. I think the Spanish referees got that wrong. I didn't think it was a foul. It was a clean tackle. Look, he got the ball there. Ridiculous. Yeah. And the player has simulated his dive. It's quite clearly a dive. And the referee, not 2 yards away, saw fit to give a free kick when it was clearly not. Yeah,
he's bought that free kick for a nickel. Jose Maria Sanchez, the referee today, he's been duped there.
Well, duped and doped, I think, will be the phrase. Now, if there's any justice in the world, this will not lead to a goal. Tielemans clearly got the ball. And when a referee does that, that really frustrates me.
Yeah.
I mean, people will say, well, it's a dangerous challenge. That was a perfectly good tackle.
I didn't see anything wrong with it, JB. I'll look at it again. Yeah,
Well,
he wins the ball. He wins the ball.
Well, the shot goes into the wall whilst you're talking to me. So, for now, it didn't come to much, but PSG still have possession. But Villa have got 2 banks of 4 in the way. That's not a good ball. I think that might drift out. No, it doesn't. Matson's in there well, though. But Villa need to be winning the second balls, and they're not. And now they have possession. They have to go for it now. Watkins is wanting the ball now. It's Rodgers leading the charge. Matson, even with his pace, can't get there. Shame, really, but that was a promising attack for Villa. Just broke down. But there's still time left in this tie. 8.5 minutes, I make it. Or even 7.5 minutes of normal time to play. And the ball over the top. Now then, this could be trouble. This might be trouble. Matson is quick, but he's been beaten to it. And a good save by Eni Martinez. And Villa, for now, stay alive. And he was onside. Yeah,
it was a good piece of goalkeeping. Again, Martinez doing his bit there. Golden Glove winner. We know the quality of Emi Martinez. That's something else I'm surprised at. The amount of goals we've seen in this tie with 2 of the world's best goalkeepers shows the quality we have on the field.
And Hakimi was the man who made the break. And it's the PSG corner. And not surprisingly, they've not brought too many people forward here. Which doesn't surprise me in the least. That's how to play, surely. Oh, He's out for the attempted volley from Cavacilia. It goes way over the bar. And Villa breathe again. And they have to get on with it now. So, we're inside the last 6.5 minutes of normal time. There's going to be a huge show for stoppages. Oh, unlucky. But I'll tell you what, one more chance that Villa get in if they take it. The roof is going to come off this Paul's ground. One of the great cathedrals of English football, big time. Villa concede the throw to Emery's constellation.
Be one of their great nights of European football if they can win this tonight.
Well, even if they go out tonight, they haven't gone out not fighting. You can't say that. They've gone down. If they do go down, they've gone down fighting. And however it turns out, it's been one of the great European nights at Aston Villa, at Villa Park's ever seen. And they've had some great nights down here the years in UEFA Cup and amongst other things. I remember Stan Collymore in the UEFA Cup tie once scoring a belter.
Gee, I remember them beating Internazionale here 2-0. Now they lost the return match 3-0, but they were incredibly impressive in the first leg. And that Internazionale side consisted of Jurgen Klinsmann, Matthäus, Andreas Bremer.
10 World Cup internationals as well. 10 internationals that played in Italia 90. And they played them for, and also all they played them, I think, was it 3 years later when Ron Atkinson was the manager. They won 1-0 on the night, Villa, and won on penalties. And I'll tell you who scored the winning penalty. A gentleman called Phil King scored the penalty that night. Signed from Sheffield Wednesday, one of Ron Atkinson's old clubs.
Well, this one has been. This one is right up there. We've been entertained from start to finish in this one.
I'm just thinking, Paul, now that I'm doing my JB's 20 greatest games of all time that I've been involved with, I think this one could well be included.
Oh, why not?
I mean, in terms of drama, excitement, the end-to-end stuff, this is probably the best game of football, and I've covered a lot of games this season for TCR. I've covered in a region of about 15, 16 games. And I think out of all of them, I think this is probably the most open match I think I've ever commentated this season. I mean, this is a commentator's dream. I mean, you've had quite a number yourself, and the last two commentaries have been stark contrast. We saw Forest and Brighton, which was quite frankly knowing in quality, and we're seeing this tonight. That's been plentiful in quality. There's a stark contrast though between an FA Cup quarter-final with Wembley at stake and then a European Cup quarter-final with both teams working to go for it. And now now here comes Hakimi again. He's made some good breaks down the right-hand side. And here's Cavacilia looking to get onto his right foot. Good tackle. Wonderful tackle. And my voice is now starting to break a bit.
That was a really, really good challenge. That I'll tell you what, these sort of things, they've not neglected the basics of Villa in their attempts to get back into this game. They've been shut down, unfortunately, up to now by some very good goalkeeping. But boy, oh boy, this game has given everything, hasn't it?
It has. And we're about to make their final change, and it's the familiar figure of Ross Barkley, who a year ago was fighting to stay in the Premier League with Luton Town. Now he's thrusted the battle in a massive Champions League quarter-final. And Yuri Tillemans, the man withdrawn. Now, Villa have now used all 5 of their subs. Now, if they were to score again in the time that remains, they would have an extra 6 substitutes. A 6 substitution up their sleeves. But it's a big but. Will they score again? And of course, well, we'll wait until at least stoppage time for your player in the match, sponsored by Commentary Services, because this is, now then, this could be all over now. Out comes Martinez and makes a smart save, but PSG get the corner. Oh dear.
Good save. Really, really good save, because that would have been game over.
And he was onside as well.
Yeah.
Well, broke the trap superbly.
Good piece of goalkeeping.
It had to be. It was a number 14, the sub making the break. 2-8.
It's an interesting substitution, bringing Ross Barkley on.
Maybe he's got something to play. Who knows? Comes the chip, and the flag stays down, and it's Ruiz. Right-hand side, here's Kvaratskhelia. That's a good try, but it's over and wide. They need to kick that other ball out quickly because Emi Martinez has just picked up another ball, and this is going to waste valuable time for Aston Villa as we see the shot from Kvaratskhelia go over the top. Well, we're into the final minute, Paul.
Yeah.
And in fact, they've got a corner, and now I don't understand the referee's geography at all. Unless that deflected, and I didn't see an inch of any deflection at all in the replay, and I think that's another poor decision.
Yeah, I mean, it's... I didn't see much in that, but the corner's been given, and Villa have just got to work hard to defend it and try to get themselves back up the field as quick as possible.
Well, we're 20 seconds away. I'm finding out from the fourth official, Alessandro Muniz Ruiz, how long there's going to be. Emery's going mad on the touchline. We're playing the 90 minutes. We're only, oh my word, only 3 minutes. Well, there's got to be, it has to be longer than that, surely. I mean, 3 minutes, we were expecting about 5 or 6.
I was thinking 5 or 6 as well, to be honest.
Well,
Usually is at the end of the game, isn't there? They usually do add a little bit more
well,
on. Maybe you wait for
well, I'll tell you what, there's groans of massive disappointment on the Villa Park terraces. Well, we'll wait until this next Villa attack's died down and we'll ask for your player of the match sponsored by Commentary Services. And here comes Torres. He's got to get it forward. What a frantic game we've had tonight, and one of the best games I've covered in 7 years as a commentator. In 10 years as a commentator, I don't think I've ever commentated on a game as dramatically. Liverpool Barca in 2019 would probably just better it in terms of it, but well, you never know. One moment of genius, and the tie could still go level. We haven't even checked on the other scores around the country.
3-1 to Dortmund.
3-1 to Dortmund, but Villa still battling for everything. If they can get one chance in the remaining 90 seconds and they're not going to get it, the referee's blown. Referee's blown, but I tell you what. Unai Emery has kicked every ball in this second half, and he's kicked it with so much passion. I wonder if Prince William knows that the game may be up. Well, basically 70 seconds between Villa and the exit goal now.
Well, it's the first season back in Europe, first season back in this competition. I think they've done a remarkable job, especially on this new format.
Yeah, they finished the top 8, didn't they, to qualify, and they've done remarkably well. But Emi Martinez knows he's only got about 50 seconds to get this pumped up the field. Gives it 1 minute. This is why the Argentinian Golden Glove winner. And then the ball knocked in the air. Villa needs to win the second ball. Can they perform an heroic? Cash needs to get possession and get it under control. And he does so. The cross is a good one. The volley comes in. Oh, it was Maatsen on the volley, and somehow it was blocked away. 30 seconds remain. And Maatsen chases. Keeps it in, does he? No, it's out of play. And that might be that. And I'm going to ask you for a player of the match sponsored by Commentary Service, Paul. There's surely no time for anything else. What about that from back now?
Yeah, well, today's man of the match for me, I have to give it to the goalkeeper, Gianluigi Donnarumma. I think Villa would have won this tie if it wasn't for him.
Absolutely.
Super saves in the second half that kept Paris in the lead. And, well, it looks like they're going to go through now and they can toast a big toast to Gianluigi Donnarumma, today's man of the match.
Yeah, absolutely. I wouldn't disagree with that choice. He's made 3 magnificent saves. There goes the final whistle. But what an heroic performance from Aston Villa. They've lost on aggregate, but look at the applause all around all four sides of Villa Park. Yes, the Parisians go through by one, and it was that third goal in the first leg that in essence decided it all. And it was Donnarumma with 3 magnificent saves, world-class saves, that have put Aston Villa out. But look at the defiance of the Villa fans. They are still singing, they're still chanting. They know their side gave it everything. And Paul James, when you look at when the dust is settled, they will be proud.
Yeah,
they'll be proud of their efforts.
They'll be very proud. I was just looking at that Ian Matson shot there. Well, it might as well have been off the goal line because Donnarumma wasn't moving.
And he hit it so well, didn't he, Matson? But I would have been lovely for an ex-Burnley player to have scored the equaliser, but it wasn't to be. I mean, we've commentated on some games together. I mean, the World Cup final 2 years ago was one example of a thriller minute, certainly when it got to the second half of that match. But tonight, it has just been extraordinary. How it's to and fro and the pendulum swung one way or the other. It's just been absolutely superb, Paul. I mean, and the Villa fans, to their credit, have not left the ground. Even in defeat, overall, they haven't left the ground at all. And Andy Martinez is disconsolate. Ezra Konsa is disconsolate. Prince William, he takes a deep breath, of course. But isn't that such a credit to their club that their fans have stayed to the bitter end and still in defeat on aggregate, are still celebrating a home tie win. Yes, the Parisians are sending off fireworks. Yes, they're having a party. But the Villa supporters are out singing them, even in defeat. And that says a lot.
It does. And it shows the respect that they have for the Villa performance today, because Villa played very, very well. It was unlucky. This is football for you. Football can be very cruel. Football can often not give you what you deserve, even when you throw everything at it. And Villa threw everything they had at it today. And I think it's really nice of the Villa fans to send their players off with such a warm reception after the defeat. Because the Villa players, you can see the looks on their faces, they're gutted. They threw everything at that game, and it's unfortunate, isn't it?
Absolutely, and I think I would echo that sentiment. Thank you. And finally, Paul, what an advert for Champions League football. I mean, Villa were at 3-1. We were hoping we'd get a thriller. We weren't disappointed, were we? What a great advert. And also the other game, which is going to end 3-1 to Dortmund, but Barca going through. I mean, 2 terrific ties that we've seen by the looks of it tonight, and a great advert for UEFA competitions.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, this is a great advert for the Champions League. I think anybody who's watched that game tonight will probably be wanting to tune into tomorrow's game. And I think what you said earlier is absolutely right. I think Mikel Arteta's probably put his players in front of this and says, here's what not to do.
Absolutely.
But it's you don't take anything away from Aston Villa. They've been absolutely fantastic tonight.
And what a way in which to end. Thank you very much indeed, Paul. Good, and you'll hear Paul tomorrow on that particular tie. Just a few bits of housekeeping before we leave you tonight here at Villa Park. Let's bring you up to date. We're still playing actually in Dortmund. They're 3-1 up on the night, but it's going to be Barcelona going through. By the looks of it, 5-3 on aggregate. In the Women's Super League, Arsenal won Riot 3-1. 5-1. Let me tell you about the Dortmund scorers. Garassi got a hat-trick in that game, but Reza Barmi's own goal looks like deciding the whole issue for Barcelona. And the Women's Super League, Arsenal have won Riot over Leicester City in the WSL. Forward with 2 goals, Baxtinius with 1, Beth Mead with another, and Pavlova getting the 5th one. Mokimi with the reply for Leicester City. That's in the WSL. In the promotion battle at the top of the League 2, Doncaster have missed the chance to go into the top 3 and stay behind Walsall on goal difference. They did take the lead through Street after 21 minutes. Garbett equalised 7 minutes later for Salford. And Tilt was sent off for 2 yellows at the end of that game at the Valencia Stadium. And finally, in the National League South, in the National League North, we got Farsley Celtic 1, Redcliffe 2, and Welby and Farsley after 81 minutes, but Hendon had put Redcliffe ahead after 63, and Duxbury were a late winner in the first minute of stoppage time. And finally, a great win for Western Supermare in the National League South. They beat Tunbridge Angels by 3-1, Pearson on 10, Reed on 68, and Waite on 85. And they are now in the National South playoffs. And incidentally, the Radcliffe result takes them away from relegation. In fact, they're now 11 points above the drop. And as for Farsley Celtic, that's their 6th defeat on the spin. Thank you for Paul. Yeah, listen, and one more bit of housekeeping before I leave you. Paul James will be back on your airwaves tomorrow with the Real Madrid match against Arsenal. And finally, from you, Paul, what do you expect from that one?
That'll be a very, very 3-0 up. You think Arsenal are in a strong position? They are in a strong position, but tomorrow they're going to be facing a Real Madrid side full of Galactico-style players. Mbappe, Vinicius Jr. are going to be trying to get an early goal. I said on Football Live at the weekend, I said Arsenal have to do one thing: do not concede an early goal.
Absolutely. Thank you, Paul. Thanks for your contributions tonight. Well, there we are. There we have it, folks. One of the games I've been a YouTube commentator for 9 years. And tonight on the TC Hub, Focus on Football and Storm FM, you have listened to a Champions League match for the ages. Aston Villa had a job to do. They were and got within 1 goal, and if Matson's goal had gone in at the end, we may have been looking at the possibility of extra time. Let's not forget Gianluigi Donnarumma in all this. He made 3 magnificent saves, one of which came from Marcus Rashford, to keep them ahead. If they'd have gone in, one of those had gone in, we may have been talking about an Aston Villa aggregate victory. As it is, it's PSG, and maybe that 3rd goal in the first leg in the end was the difference. Thank you for joining us tonight. Join Paul tomorrow if you can on all the same channels. He'll be live on TC Hub, Focus on Football and Storm FM. But from us here at Villa Park, thank you for listening. Aston Villa were heroic, they were gallant, they were brave, but they bow out, but not without a fight. It's PSG who will play neither Arsenal or Real Madrid in the semi-final. But Aston Villa, everyone will tell you this now, Aston Villa supporters, hold your heads up high, because you are not disgraced tonight. From all of us here at Villa Park, good night to you all.